I recently made a video where I recapped what Spirit has shown me about it happening. But do you guys want to know what I think? From the mind of Gia, not from the mind of Spirit? This is me taking off my psychic hat and putting on my random person on the internet hat. So you've been warned. I mean, I guess to be fair, as a psychic, I gather information that feels right, that has an intuitive ring to it. So there's half of my psychic hat on. But this is from my mind, what I am looking at in terms of not only what I have received, but other things I've seen out there, and then how my brain wants to connect the dots. Because there's still a lot of, well, there's a lot of unity in what people are getting and predicting. There's also a lot of disparity in what comes next. So here's how my little brain has been piecing this all together. So I mentioned that months ago, I want to say September, last fall, I was shown him falling from something to do with blood on the brain, whether a stroke or an aneurysm. And I also mentioned that sometime either at the end of last year, beginning of this year, I was shown images from the movie Dave, in which the leader of the country is incapacitated and in a coma and is hidden away, and they bring in a double. That's the whole plot of the movie. Great movie, by the way. Top 10 90s rom-com. And they bring in a double. So this was a very confusing thing to get. And I did wonder for a while, is that what's happening? Is there a double? But since not only would I never know, but they would never reveal it if it were true, I had to tuck that one away. But now what I'm thinking is, maybe the reason I was shown that, it had nothing to do with having a double. It has to do with perhaps he will not pass away immediately. Perhaps he will be in a coma or he will be incapacitated, and this might go on for some time. Now, I've heard other intuitives say that they have a sense that the administration will not follow proper protocol in either having him step down, or if he dies, they're not going to follow the normal chain of command. Now, as a logical human, that tracks for me because they a bunch of shady motherfuckers. So it tracks with me that they would pull some bullshittery and try to not do the thing they're supposed to do. And that would be like final straw energy. And people are like, hell no, absolutely the fuck not, including Republicans in the House and Senate. So this would lead to the massive infighting, the escalation of the situation, which would lead to perhaps the final removal of this administration. Now, this is where it gets a little hazy, because I personally have not been shown a play-by-play of what happens, of what the sequence of events are specifically to trigger this. But what I have been shown in the past is the official removal will not necessarily be from impeachment. It might be from some of the investigations that are ongoing. Watch my Threads of Fate video for that, with the insider trading due to the tariff wars, with the Seacoat situation, there's lots of different things. Freaking, what's it called? Signalgate. Like, there's a lot of malfeasance happening. And it could be from any number of those, or the general combination of those that becomes, this man is up to no good, he's done, we're removing him. But what I have been told is that the final thing to make it official, not just that we have removed this president, but that he has been deemed ineligible, is because the contest manipulation will finally be made known and will be made public. Now, regardless of what it is that finally does the final, you're out, you're officially not president. And this is why, by the way, if I had a nickel for every time someone said, but what about JD Vance? Vance is worse. I'm afraid of Vance. Stop. Now, in the last May preview event, I did maybe wonder and have a sense that he might be put in for a hot minute. But other than that, I have never seen that or felt that at all. And regardless of what happens, if the presidency has been found to be null and void because they cheated, then every single person in his cabinet who has been also linked to the fraud voting would then be removed. Now, something else that I've been shown, and I shared this on YouTube, but it's a longer clip from my May preview event where this channeling moved through me, and I was shown what would happen after the removal, when everything is kind of, oh no, what are we going to do? What I was shown is that with the decertification, the official, you're not the president, it was not legal, it was not, whatever they do, whatever they say, whatever verbiage they come up with at that point. That's when I was shown the presidency would revert back to the previous administration, but due to his health issues, which now makes sense. I wasn't told why. I was just shown that he would hand the process over to VP Harris. But now we know with his health issues, it would be a logical step for him to say, I'm going to step down and hand this over to her. And that's when the channeling came through about we will decide together as a nation. Chills again. Every time I even talk about it. We will decide as a nation how to move forward. And in that session, again, I asked specifically, so are they going to recount the votes? Which I've had a sense all along, like if it was so manipulated, they may never really know what the final numbers were. Or even then, even if they knew, it wouldn't be trustworthy because of all of the fuckery. Which, side note, do not at me about that being a conspiracy. Go to Election Truth Alliance, go over on YouTube. They have the goods, they have the receipts, they have top experts and data models. This is, just go look. But regardless, what I was shown is when I asked, will there be a recount? Are they going to do whatever? And I was shown Kamala Harris, and it's like she was talking to me, and she was sort of smirking, and she was like, there might be. And I couldn't tell if she was playing coy or if it really is like, we don't know. We haven't yet decided together. So if I'm a betting woman, that's where my money is. That's how I think this is going to go down. Yes, there's still some missing pieces. No, this doesn't take into account all the visions that all the people have gotten. You know, so many people have seen visions of military personnel in white calmly, peacefully removing. Like, I really don't know how all the pieces fit together. And I don't know that they do. And that is just a normal part of being psychic, okay? Things are constantly changing. Some things are symbolic, metaphorical, rather than literal. That is the nature of the beast. No matter how good you are as a psychic, precognition is never 100% because we as a collective and we as individuals are creating the future together. But as we get closer to that and as those potentials solidify, they become big and dramatic enough that multiple people are seeing the same realities, the same potentials showing up. And as a final note, because I know I'm going to get questions about it, because a lot of people are talking about this, I have never been shown financial collapse, and I've specifically asked my guides, so it's been in other sessions. I've done videos on that. What they have shown me is there will be moments of instability, which we certainly saw after the whole tariff war nonsense when the market crashed and things got pretty cray for a minute. I've never been shown a full financial collapse. What they've told me is that the parts of the system that are inequitable, that are problematic, will collapse and be removed, and that will make way for new systems and new ways of capitalism, new ways of doing business that will change going forward for the betterment of all. I have also never seen the three-letter word that starts with W, where everyone is fighting across the land. I've never seen that, never been shown it, and I've asked repeatedly, I've never gotten that. I've seen that in certain areas, certain people will be very mad and will do some things. And that is very much on par with what we've seen in general in times of social upheaval in the United States. I've used the phrasing, small incidents of localized upset, but it is not widespread. So that's what I think. I'd love to hear what you think. How does this fit in with what you've gotten? My previous session is happening tomorrow, Thursday, at which point I will take off my human hat, fully put on my psychic hat, come with an open mind, and I will ask Spirit and I will see what they're going to show us, because it is interesting times for sure. Either way, I'm so excited. If you want to sign up, we're almost sold out, but not yet. So you can get it, the link in bio. If you're watching on YouTube, it's in the caption. And if you're seeing this after the fact, I do put replays up a few hours to, half a day after the event. So we will see what happens.